Hello and welcome to our second episode of Now You Know. What you are hearing right now is the call of a very special bird, thought to be extinct since 2000. And ever since then, this bird has been kept in captivity, and it is known as the Spix's macaw. It was believed to be extinct in the wild in 2000 when the last remaining male had died. Now this is interesting because recently on July 8th, earlier this year, 2016, there was a recording of a Spix macaw flying in an area called the Caatinga, its natural habitat. Now this macaw has not been found, but in more recent news, the Ministry of Environment in Brazil has actually approved a bill for the reintroduction and reproductive center for the Spix macaw in its natural habitat. This will be used to reintroduce macaws back into the wild. This is very important news for the community because lots of the people who live in this area have never seen one. Now, on this episode, you may notice we are a little bit early. This is because the series is no longer monthly. It's actually whenever I can get around to it. And today we are talking about Psittacifrons, the parrot family. The parrot family is a very unique group of birds, especially some of the more predominant examples, because they have many unique features to their bodies and unique abilities that they can use, and things we are still discovering to this day. Now, parrots are when we say Psittacifron, that means the parrot family, but that does not just include parrots. It includes New Zealand parrots, which are, there's three different species, the kakapo, the kia, and the kaka. There's the cockatoos, like the sulfur-crested, major Michelle's, the palm cockatoo, are three species of many. There's also lorikeets, which are small Australian parrots that are very colorful, like the rainbow lorikeet, which is the most colorful. There's the conures, which are small parrots, like Amazonian parrots. There are the parrotlets, which live in South and Central America, which have been found recently to be very intelligent. Parakeets, which are native to Australia. They're also called budgies. Those are the kinds people keep as pets. There's also the Old World parrots, which include two subspecies in the African grey parrot family. The African grey parrot is actually the only species of Psittacifron in Africa, but there's two subspecies. And then there's the macaws, or the New World parrots, as they're sometimes called. These ones are very unique because they are one of the most evolved species. There are many different types of parrots, as I said, and an interesting thing is lots of people keep parrots as pets. But the three main pet species kept as parrots, the most common species, there's the African grey, which is one of the largest species, but the three that are mainly kept as small pets for birds are the parrotlet, the parakeet, and the lovebird. There are some major differences between these guys. There is the parakeet, which for noise, it's actually, they typically chirp for noise, while the parrotlet will actually mimic human speech, and the lovebird actually has little noise at all that it makes. On the other hand, lovebirds are require 24-hour care. They are quite hard to keep. They actually need lots of attention. On the other hand, the parakeet, which is one of the chirpiest and noisiest of birds, are actually the easiest to keep of the three. The parrotlet is actually a very intelligent species, so they need lots of stimulation and entertainment to keep them going. They are escape artists. They will try to escape if their lock is easy to get out of. There's interesting thing about diet as well. The lovebirds typically need lots of water, And on the other hand is the parrotlet, which needs lots of food. And the parakeet, what they need is a lot of variety. A lot of people think that some of the bird seed they buy at stores and the pellets are good enough, but they actually need raw vegetables and fruits to keep their diet going. This actually helps their digestive tract. But one of the main differences is size. The parrotlet is the smallest at 3 to 5.5 inches. The lovebird comes in second at 5 to 6 inches. And the budgie, the parakeet, is actually the largest, coming in at 6 to 7 inches. This is actually unique. A lot of people think parakeets are quite small, but the lovebirds and the parrotlets are smaller. There is a lot of other species kept as pets, but these are the three most common. And an interesting study done by Carl Berg, a neurobiologist from Venezuela, actually discovered that the green rump parrotlet is one of 3 animals that actually uses names. It's not names like humans think of them, which is one of the species, or dolphins, which also use the same technique. Dolphins and parrotlets actually use signature whistles, which are a whistle unique to each individual. Only the individual has this unique signature whistle, and that is actually how they identify each other as well. This is one of the similarities between parrots and humans. Is the intelligence. Irene Pepperberg, a scientist and neurobiologist, had an African gray parrot known as Alex. Alex was one of the most intelligent parrot species on record, learning over 300 different words in his vocabulary. He also knew multiple phrases and was learning math concepts, getting close to the concept of zero. He even had imaginative properties, creating the banary, which is a mix between a banana and cherry, which is what he called apples. They are very intelligent, and they actually have high emotional capacities as well. In 2007, when Alex died, the last thing he said to his owner was, "You be good, see you tomorrow, I love you." This is unique because parrots do show emotional capacity. They're very caring toward their young, and another trait they share with humans is monogamy. But it's a one-sided monogamy. The males in most species of parrots and macaws are monogamous. So if the female dies, the male will not mate with another female. But if the male dies, the female will sometimes find another mate. And it's interesting because parrots have been shown, especially macaws, to have interspecies relationships. As I learned in Ecuador, we did see a blue and gold macaw with a scarlet macaw. Now this is interesting because it's actually been recorded before. It's one of the most interesting relationships between parrots that have been recorded, and one of the most common among macaws is blue and red macaws. They have very close territories, and that leads to interspecies breeding. This has also caused mixed species, such as the Catalina macaw, which is often kept as a pet. This is unique because it shows that many species of parrots are closely related. There's a species of parrot that only has one creature in its family. That's called the Pasquet's parrot. That's the only one in its genus, so they cannot interbreed. Species that only have one creature in their genus, that's how interbreeding happens, is a creature has to breed with another creature in its genus. Which brings me back to the topic of extinction and genes. There are many different species of parrots that went extinct. In fact, as you can see on our new whiteboard, each one of these years in these boxes is another year that a species of parrot went extinct. The interesting thing is, past year, it's all island species. and only these 4 are mainland species, which shows us that islands are at higher risk of endangered and extinctions than other areas of the world. As we learned from Hawaii, the island of Kauai, and all the other islands as well, have a species of bird called the oo. And these all different species on every island was unique, and all of them went extinct at different times because of human interference. There are many different species of island parrots. Even with the extinctions, parrots actually traveled the islands because they're native mostly to South and Central America, and as you can tell, there's a lot of islands down there, such as the island of Cuba, where the Cuban red macaw once inhabited. Also the island of Jamaica, where the Jamaican red macaw used to live. And there are 4 species of mainland parrots that went extinct. 2 of them are the Glossius macaw. Those are completely extinct. The Spix macaw, which now currently only survives in captivity. And another one is actually from America. The only North American species of parrot, the Carolina parakeet. That's the only one that was native to northern North America as well. There's also the monk parakeet, which is also native partially to Texas. They have 4 breeding grounds down in Texas. But the Carolina parakeet was native. The last specimen died in Florida in 1904. That's the wild specimen. And the last specimen to be known in captivity was in Cincinnati Zoo in 1918. That was the last known of the birds to go extinct. And there are many different island parakeets as well, parrots and parakeets as well, that are going extinct, such as the kakapo, which is a flightless parrot from New Zealand, the kia, which is also native to New Zealand, and the kaka, which is the 3rd New Zealand parrot. These are unique because all 3 are native to New Zealand. New Zealand has one of the highest risks of extinctions of creatures. As we know, there's kiwis, really endangered birds down there. There's multiple different species going extinct down in that area. It's a very sad situation to see parrots go extinct, but there is hope. As I said earlier, the Ministry of Environment in Brazil just started a reintroduction center for the Spix's macaw. This means that by year 2017, the center will be complete, and they already have bred 120 different individual macaws in the care of the different facilities that own these macaws. Now, there are many different species of macaws, and how do you tell them apart? Well, the main difference is color. The military macaws, which are primarily green. Then you have the blue macaws, which there's only one wild, completely blue macaw. That's the hyacinth macaw. There's also Lear's macaw, which is a bluish-green. Then you have the blue and gold and the blue-throated macaw, which can be a little difficult to tell apart. And the most difficult to tell apart is the 2 species of red macaw, the green-winged and the scarlet macaw. But there is one difference that's the easiest to look for. When you see the wings, the green-winged macaw, shown here, has red, green, and blue parts to the wing. And the scarlet macaw actually has an additional yellow band in the middle of the green. They have 2 green stripes and a yellow band in the middle. This is unique to scarlet macaws, and if this was a subspecies that was only known from 3 macaws have had a subspecies of Oromacau macau, which is the subspecies of scarlet macaw. They had have additional yellow band right around here. That's where there would be an additional band of yellow that would extend down to the wingtip. It's a very small area of yellow. And another interesting feature of the parrots is their feet. All parrot species are zygodactyl, which means they have 2 forward and 2 backward pointing toes. There are many different foot designs in birds, but all parrots are zygodactyl. There's also didactyl species of birds, which have two toes pointing forward. These are the emus, ostriches, birds like that. You have anisodactyl, which is usually the web-footed birds, so there'd be webbing in between, such as ducks and geese. They actually have a fourth toe that points back. And then there's the tridactyl, which is a lot of early species of birds, because birds are actually descendants of some species of raptors and dinosaurs. And these were called theropods, which means 3 foot. And as you can see, 3-pointed toes that point forward. Dinosaurs had very distinctive footprints just like this. So all the primitive bird species will have this foot design. And there's a lot of species of birds that live with parrots. A lot of them are colorful. And the parrots actually are unique because they're one of the most intelligent species, as I mentioned earlier. And they're one of the most endangered species in the world. Parrots are one of my favorite animals in the world. They're a very unique species, and now, at the end of this episode, you can say that now you know Psittaciphorum, the parrot family. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next episode.